Hey guys, this is Stu. Just thought I'd do another impromptu inbox review of a kit I recently acquired from Tim Iverts at Cheap Kits and Bits, and having just watched Frankie Day's inbox review on his 124th Airfix A5, I thought I'd throw my hat in and show you the one I've actually got. So Frankie, I hope you enjoyed the video, buddy. I certainly enjoyed yours. This is actually in the markings of Focke Wulf 190 that is well known. This is the earlier A3 variant as opposed to the A5 that Frankie was reviewing. This is, as you can see on the box art, in the markings of a well-known Focke Wulf air ace. That was Commandant Holtman, Commander Pips Priller, who was well known throughout Europe. A high scoring ace, if not one of the highest. And I think there's a feature in The Longest Day where he was caught out on D-Day and basically laughed near paces. They only did 2 passes over the beaches of Normandy and said, "That's our lot." So there you go. But it is a beautiful looking aircraft. I recently saw one which has been restored in flying condition, and my god, that thing can half bloody move. And it was all thanks to the actual design by the designer Kurt Tank, who needed an aircraft to succeed the BF 109, and in the end it actually ended up flying alongside it. They were brought in with great effect around about 1941 and actually outgunned and outmaneuvered the then Spitfire Mark Fives to great effect until the higher powered engine Mark 9 came into existence. But throughout the latter stages of the war, they were used in various variants: a fighter bomber command version, one which was a night fighter, as well as a high-speed fighter and escort, and obviously he's had the slightly later stretch version, which was the Focke Wulf 190 D9 with an inline engine as opposed to the BMW 801 radial, which this was powered by. And obviously it went on to do the high-altitude TA 152. But without further ado, we'll get on with the review itself. As I say, this is a kit initially, when I saw it advertised, I thought I've got to have it. It's as I say, it's one of the most beautiful looking Luftwaffe aircraft that existed, and it certainly looks apart by the nickname it was given, the Butcher Bird. As I say, this is depicting the aircraft flown by Pips Priller. You do have one of 3 options, which, if you notice on the side of the box, you've got this variant here, which is of Commander of the 3rd Jagdgeschwader Hauptmann Hans Assi Hahn. He was one of 3 high scoring aces. And then on the other side of the box, I think this may be from Stab J Jagdgeschwader Hauptmann Jagdgeschwader 26 Hauptmann Wilhelm Gath. All very similar markings of the time. As I say, I think this was one of the early variants. And so without further ado, we'll have a look and see what's inside the box. And in case you're wondering what the kit number of this is, if you want to get hold of one, it's 610372500. Okay, I'll hold that there in case you want to pause it. Alright, I hope you got that. We'll get on with the review. Right, first off, we've got a basic colour guide as to how the actual camouflage is depicted, both on the upper and lower part of the fuselage. And then we come on to the instruction sheet. And obviously you've got a little pamphlet there showing you all the Tamiya range of aircraft kits throughout. Okay, and then we come on to the main instruction sheet. Now, it is in a concertina effect, so you will have to bear with me. Right, so we'll go through it steadily but surely. First off, you've got the familiar history behind the aircraft, and then on the illustration of the assembled kit, which is the option I'm going to be doing, which is Pips Priller's aircraft. And then the first stage is basically all the colour callouts, which you see up here, and then obviously the main part of the colour guide to the actual control panel, which you can see here. And then the assembly of the main components of the cockpit tub, and then adding the seat and control column, and if you want to, add the pilot, and then you've got a colour guide to the pilot if you want to enter it into the kit, but I won't be. And then basically the next stage is the assembly of the fuselage halves that you see here, and then adding the cockpit tub up from the bottom into the fuselage along with the BMW 801 engine, which is you see the assembly for here, which goes onto the back firewall. And then obviously you've got the assembly of the undercarriage bay, and you have the option of having it closed if you want it in flight, but I'm going to keep them open. Alright. Okay, next stage is obviously the assembly of the two wing halves, and then obviously the wings go up onto the fuselage along with the tail planes, and then it's the assembly of the undercarriage itself, which I have to say is finely detailed, and it also gives you the angle where the wheels should be sort of angling at. Next, you assemble the fuselage with the actual undercarriage to the fuselage, and this is actually part of the fuselage half, which is I think the braking system or whatever. And then the tailplane goes on, as you can see, and it tells you the angle to put the actual wheels at here. Okay, then it's the assembly of the nose over the engine, and obviously you've got the end ring there as well, and then add the machine guns onto the fuselage along with the back of the cockpit. And you, as I say, you've got option of one of two cockpits on this depending on which example you're doing, and then it's the assembly of the actual propeller hub and nose. I don't think I've missed anything else out, so if you will bear with me. And obviously the final assembly stage is the cockpit's canopy onto the fuselage along with the gun sight and the step ladder there. Now again, you've got the option of two examples, a bubble canopy depending on which version you're doing, or the ordinary hood, which is what the first version was used. And you have the option of keeping the cockpit open or not. Then you go on to the colour callouts. This is the variant I'll be doing, which is Pip's Priller's aircraft. And then you've got the other two options, which is Hans aircraft and Wilhelm Gath's aircraft as well. So that's the instruction sheet done. And then the first part of the kit is the decal sheet itself. As you can see, you've got the stencils here, along with the various options of the aircraft you want to do. But the refreshing thing is, you've got full swastikas here. So that is a bonus. Then we're moving on to the canopy itself. Beautifully clear, not a blemish on it, and finely sculpted panel line, so that's going to be easy to mask. Again, as I say, you've got the option of either the flat canopy or the bubble one, depending on which option of aircraft you choose to make. And then the first sprue is the wing section itself, the top part, the wings, and the detail inside you've got there for the undercarriage bay. And then you've got the cockpit tub here, which you see there. And the thing I like also is the interior detail of the bay here, which is absolutely super, and usually to Tamiya's high standards of engineering, not 1 ounce of flash at all. And even on the seat, I don't know if you can make it out, but you've even got where the actual leather is sagging, so that is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then obviously you've got the undercarriage parts right here, as you can see here. Then the main propeller hub, if I can find it, there you go. So that's that. And obviously you've got the actual moulding of the BMW 801 radial engine, which I have to say is absolutely superb, along with the nose hub with the propeller. So there you go. And then obviously you've got the fuselage halves here, and I have to say the detail on the panel lines is absolutely crisp, beautifully produced, as you can see there. And I love the fabric effect on the back tailplane as well. Then you've got the control column, as you can see here, beautifully reproduced, and obviously with that, to re-reflect the glass, you can just put a little bit of gloss varnish in there. once you've done the actual detail on it. And there's the wheels, absolutely superb, but not weighted, so I'd have to sort of source some aftermarket or maybe sand down some of the area of the tyre there, just to give it that weighted effect. And then obviously you've got the undercarriage bay doors, which you see there, which are beautifully produced. And what else was there? I don't know. Oh, and there's the undercarriage legs themselves. Again, I'll probably put a little bit of wire in there just to represent the brake leads, etc. And finally, you've got the bottom part of the wing. Again, beautifully reproduced. You've got the MG cannons in the wings, and that represents the actual gun bay there. And it is superb. And then finally, you've got the nose right here. That is beautifully produced. So, guys, that is the Focke Wulf 190A3 and by Tamiya. Superb looking little kit, I have to say. I'm looking forward to building this, but I will be getting some aftermarket products in just to sort of fill the cockpit out a little bit. And I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you did too, Frankie. So that is the 148th Tamiya Focke Wulf 190A3, and if you see one on eBay or in a model shop, definitely get one, guys. Anyway, until then, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll see you on another video soon.